everybody! My name is Melissa Fry, author, editor, lover of stories, and a grammar nerd. So it's been a little bit since I've done a YouTube video, so I'm very excited to come back. And today I want to touch on something, it's November 1st, so I wanted to touch on something that is huge in November, and that is, if you haven't heard, National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo. So I am very excited about this because it's a great way for authors and even people who aren't writers yet to get into writing a novel. And of course, I love to write novels. It's probably my favorite thing to do in the entire world. But it's certainly something I support. So I wanted to talk all about NaNoWriMo, and I actually wanted to discuss why I'm not participating. So really briefly, I will touch on all of that, and then I'll get to some exciting news that I have coming up. So here is why I'm not participating in NaNoWriMo. So, like I said, I love the concept of NaNoWriMo. I love that it inspires people to write. I love that it's a great community that authors, writers, everyone can join together and hit their word counts and write a novel. However, a few years ago, actually, I think it was last year, the NaNoWriMo, is it a company? I'm not sure, but they actually have some other time frames where they do a camp NaNoWriMo, and it's actually not held in November, but there's a little bit different rules. They're not as strict. They allow you to set your own word count, things like that, and you don't have to start on a new project. You can start in the middle of a project. So last July, I believe, I participated in Camp NaNoWriMo, and I quickly realized it's not for me. So and I'll tell you why. Because when I have a word count that I'm trying to hit, it's actually the opposite of motivational for me. It's actually more stressful. I actually find myself writing really, really bad words just to get that word count in, and that is not something that is a good thing for my creative process. I'll put it that way. So now, by no means am I knocking NaNoWriMo. I love it. I think it's great. But there are some writers out there, and I suspect I am not alone in this, that it's just not helpful for my creative process. So the number one reason that I don't participate in NaNoWriMo is because I just write really poorly when I'm trying to hit a word count. It's easier for me and it's more advantageous for me, albeit not as quick. Because it would be quicker if I had a set word count, but it's actually better for me to sit down when the inspiration hits and write like crazy and get all the words on the page and their quality. And I've heard, I think Stephen King referenced it, where you write like a clean draft. Now, I don't do a completely clean draft, but for the most part, when I'm drafting my book, I don't have a lot of spelling errors. I don't have a lot of grammatical errors. I basically write a pretty clean first draft, and in order to do that, I have to have the space and the freedom in my creativity to be able to do that. And for me, reaching a word count does not do that. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. But I do support every author out there who is participating in NaNoWriMo, like almost all of my author friends are. It's really great for a lot of people. It really helps them focus and determine what it is that they actually want, which is to write a novel and actually get the words on the page and get their novel written. So I fully support that. Again, it's awesome. But for me, I just can't do it. But that being said, I am the biggest NaNoWriMo cheerleader. I love to support all of my fellow authors who are participating and writing and getting their word count in and using the month of November to really focus in on the writing. And that is an amazing thing that I want to support and I want to encourage. So if you are participating in NaNoWriMo, please, please, please let me know. Leave a comment. If you're on Instagram, let me know so I can support you in your writing and getting that book written. in the month of November. I love to be a nano cheerleader. It's just not a good participant. So I'll just be a nano cheerleader this month and support all of you in pursuing your dreams and getting words on the page and getting those books written. Okay, so that's why I don't participate in NaNoWriMo, but there are a few other things that I wanted to announce here on my YouTube channel before I sign off. So the first thing is my book, The Secret of the Codex, actually released last August, but I am re-releasing it in, well, like 11 days, so November 12th. I am re-releasing The Secret of the Codex, and it's got a new cover, it's got new content. I included an excerpt of book 2 in it. It's very exciting. And last week, I actually received a copy, my proof copy of the new book with all of the new content and the new cover. Okay, right? So if you're ready to see it, I would love to show you because I'm very excited if you couldn't tell. And I've kind of like put it in the video a little bit, so it's already there. But here you go. Ta-da! Secret of the Codex, 2nd edition. Yes, this was designed by Stone Ridge Books, Mandy Lynn at Stone Ridge Books. It's amazing, I love it, and I can't wait to see what other covers she does. But anyway, so as you can see, this is the proof copy, so it does have the not for resale, but it does say of the underneath there, so it's actually called The Secret of the Codex. And Mandy created this amazing symbol for me that just screams Mayan to me, and if you read the book, it is about a codex, which is a book, and it has some symbols on it. So I don't know, I just love this so much. So the background, you can't really see it, so you have to order it for yourself, hint hint. But the background actually looks like an ancient book, like a leather book, so I love that a lot. And the writing and stuff like this looks like stone. But oh, one other thing too, book 1 in the Codex series. Yes, this is a series which I've talked about, but the second book, The Prophecy of the Codex, which you can see the title back here, Prophecy of the Codex, that helps me stay focused on what my current book is. That's why I have that up all the time. Anyway, the second book is scheduled to come out in the spring. I'm super excited about that. I don't have a date yet, but I'm really excited about getting that second book out into the world. And like I said, I did include in the back of the book, I've got some samples of the second book. So be sure to pick this up. November 12th is when it releases. I should have the pre-order up very soon if it's not up already, so check that out for sure. But one other thing I wanted to comment on this cover, and this is not something that was really intentional when the cover was designed, but as I was once I received this, I'm looking through it and I'm thinking, wait a minute, I think these like little balls of light here, oh my goodness, there is a scene in the book that talks about balls of light, and it's like a really pivotal scene in the book. And I was like super excited when I realized that. So you'll have to pick up the book and read it so you can see what the significance of these little balls of light swirling around. It's amazing. So here's the back. The back has the back cover. I really didn't change this back cover copy very much. I didn't feel like I needed it, so that's good, but I did add a review, and there's also a review on the front too from Maverick Moses. He's been amazing. But anyway, there's a review here, and then my new author bio talks about the Prophecy of the Codex. Anyway, so, and look at this spine. I mean, this is amazing. It's got the symbol. I love it. This is so great. So I just keep this on my desk, and I keep picking it up and flipping through it just because I love it. And yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop raving about it because you guys can like rewind it and watch it again if you really want to hear me rave about it some more. Anyway, yeah, and then in the inside, so one little fun thing in the inside, I actually, in the chapters, actually added the symbol in the chapters too. So super excited about that. It just feels more substantial to me, and it's actually like, because I added the symbols and I added the books in the back and I did a little bit of extra back matter, talked about reviews and things like that I didn't do in the first copy, this is actually a lot thicker than the first one. So please remember to pick this up November 12th. So this is probably another reason I'm not participating in NaNoWriMo, is because November is a super busy month for me. Not only am I re-releasing my first book, I'm also releasing my first course. It's called Instagram for Authors by Melissa Fry, and I am really, really excited about it. Last year, I wrote a guest post for SHAYLA RAQUEL. She's an editor and a marketer and an author as well. And she, I guest posted on her blog about Instagram and how authors can use it before they even have a book out. So I'll link to that below in the notes so you can link to that article and see kind of all the tips and tricks I gave for Instagram. Well, that was like a year and a half ago. So I've actually gotten several people that have reached out to me and said, hey, from that article, and said, hey, I'd like to know more about Instagram. I would like someone to be able to teach me or kind of mentor me or whatever. So I decided to create a course. Like I said, it's called Instagram for Authors by Melissa Fry, and it will be releasing in November. I don't have a set date yet, but it'll be releasing really soon. So I actually have a sign up for that where you can get updates. I'll send out some Instagram tips and things like that, but you'll also be informed of when the course is going live. I'm going to probably have like a beta launch. So if you want to get in at a lower price, test it out for me, give me some feedback. That will be an option. And then I'll also have a full-on release. Should be on sale for like the Black Friday, Cyber Monday timeframe. But it's really, I mean, I have a ton of content for this, and I'm trying to figure out how best to get it in the format that it needs to be. So in all likelihood, this course will expand and expand and expand, and it will keep getting bigger, and there will be updates to it. And then, so with all those updates and you know, how big the course gets, it will probably go up in price. But the benefit of getting in now or the beta rate, or if you want to do it like around Black Friday for that sale, you will be able, that's lifetime access. So if I add to the course, you'll get that and you won't have to pay anything extra. So that's definitely a bonus for you. All right, the last thing I wanted to talk about was editing. As you know, I am a book editor, and if you didn't know, well, now you do. I do edit books. I also, and really of any length, nonfiction, fiction, and very soon I'm going to be taking on a lot more editing projects. I'm going to have some more time to be able to devote to that. So I'm really excited about that because I love helping authors just polish their books until they shine. That's kind of the way I think about it. They sometimes give me the raw material, and sometimes it's pretty good already, but there's a lot of grammatical things, punctuation, but there's also some of the readability that sometimes, yeah, I mean, the goal of writing a book is to get the person to keep reading and want to keep reading and get engaged and enjoy the book. But if the book is hard to read, or there's kind of fighting to get through what you're saying, things like that, it can be a struggle for a reader, and then that might cause them to put your book down, and you don't want that. So the type of editing I do will help with that. It helps with readability. It helps with just keeping the reader reading and keeping them engaged. So if you have a book coming up, I would love to talk to you about it. I love to hear about authors' books anyway. So even if you're not ready for an editor yet, I'd still love to hear about your book. I actually, as well, I didn't really realize I was going to announce this, but I actually wrote a mini ebook for authors who have written a book, but they're not sure what to do next, and they don't know how to find an editor, what questions to ask them. So I did create a mini ebook, 10 questions every author should ask a prospective editor. It's a long title, but it's a really good resource for you. It's completely free. I have it up, and I will put a link to that below as well. So you can get that free mini ebook, look through it, chat with me if you have any questions. It talks about the different types of editing, the questions you should ask a prospective editor, and then the answers you're looking for from an editor. And it even talks about how you know when your book is ready for an editor, because sometimes you're like, I'm not sure, is it ready, is it not? So hopefully it will answer that question for you as well. And then I added in a little bit of writer motivation for you too. So I would love if you check that out. Like I said, it's a free ebook. You just sign up for my email list and I'll send it right out to you. And it's really, I just wanted it to be something that's super helpful, so that, because I hear a lot that authors are just really overwhelmed when they get to this stage, and I just wanted to help with that overwhelm and help you really be able to think through it and have a step-by-step process that you can take so that you're not so overwhelmed by the whole thing, because it can be very overwhelming. All right, I think that's it. I talked about a lot today. Thank you for listening. Let me know again if you're participating in NaNoWriMo. I would love to support you and encourage you and cheer you on, because I am a nano cheerleader. I think that's like my official title. Not really. But anyway, stay tuned for all these things I have coming up in November. It's going to be a really exciting month, and I can't wait to share everything with you. I just have so many ideas. They just keep flowing out of me, of ways that I can help and ways that I can make your life easier. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about anything I've talked to you about at all, any question about writing or anything. Also, I would love it if you would subscribe below, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, ring that bell, and that will give you notifications when I post a new video, which is on Friday. I post videos on Fridays. But other than that, I would just love to connect with you, so please reach out. All right, my name is Melissa Fry, author, editor, now a course creator, very, very soon. My new book, like I said, The Secret of the Codex, comes out November 12th, and an Instagram for Authors course soon to follow. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Oh yeah, and don't forget our grammar note too.